Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me today. Today I would like to discuss with you a proposal to transition the way that we do our investments and trading here, both with operating funds and with client money. Currently we have a very manual process for doing things, and it's very long, complicated, and drawn out. And my proposal today will show you a light at the end of the tunnel, if you will, for a more automated process, which will be smoother for both the offshore and the onshore team when doing daily operations within the Treasury Department. So before we get started, I want you to think about sitting at your desk doing your trading. And I want you to pretend you're entering a trade and you've got 5 minutes left before cutoff and you just entered $10 million instead of $1 million. And you look at the screen and it says 10 million and you think, oh my God, what am I going to do? I have 5 minutes to fix this. And you can't delete it. There's no option to delete on the computer screen. And you don't have the money to send the 10 million. So you're going to be screwed in 5 minutes when your cutoff hits and you're going to be 9 million overdrawn. But there's a solution. You can call the bank and you can wait on hold for them to physically cancel the trade. But what do you do if you're on hold for more than 5 minutes and you miss the cutoff? So this is what we're going to address today. You don't want to be stressed about the $9 million. And you don't want to be stressed about paying the fine for the $9 million. And you don't want to be stressed when the client calls you and tells you, I don't want to work with you anymore because you overdrew my account $9 million. So I want to look at the current process. There's a lot going on this screen. But let's focus on all of the individual pieces under certain umbrellas. And this is where it gets very manual. And this is where we have room for a lot of improvement. We look at keying in trades, we look at keying in wires, and we look at approving wires. And all of these little pieces could be combined into one piece. It could be a lot simpler. The current process has 4 employees, takes about 55 minutes each, and we have about 16 platforms that we work with on our investment banking. Now 16 platforms, that's just the investment banking side. That is not the local banking side. We have more than 20 local banking platforms. So you're looking at 36 platforms in total that you're working with to log in. What if we did automation? We could smooth things out a bit and we could combine a lot of things. Specifically, keying in trades. What if we imported our trades to one platform? What if we no longer had to log into all the individual banks to manually send the money for those investments? What if we didn't have to key in the wires after we logged into those banks? And no one had to approve the wires because they could be auto-debited. We'd be looking at a cleaner slate here. 2 employees taking 25 minutes on one platform. Much easier, much cleaner, much neater, less risk, less money, much better for both our operations and our compliance and controls. We're going to save time. We have 4 employees doing this every day. And if we could save 2 employees off of our agenda at 30 minutes, we'd be looking at going from 220 minutes to 50. That's a massive savings in time. And we'll quantify that later when we discuss salary and how much money that could save us if we invested that elsewhere. But time is of the essence when you're trading. Time is of the essence when you're paying breach fines and you're paying salaries. So we need to keep this in mind when we're moving from one system to the other, that time, although it doesn't seem like a big ordeal when you're paying someone an offshore or a local analyst, is in fact a very big deal to your bottom line. And we will save money. If we look at labor savings, let's say $22 an hour, okay? Someone making $45,000 a year. 30 minutes each, that's going to give us $5,500 in savings. This is pretty substantial when you look at how much you could do with the $5,500. If we look at 120 manual wires that we pay about $20 for each wire, no matter how much the money is, whether it's wiring $1 or wiring $1 million, you're still going to pay the $20. We could do auto debits for only $6.50. This is a huge savings for us. And that $6.50 has 0 risk because you're not keying it in. So it's not only saving money and time, but saving risk as well. That's over $400,000 in saving in bank fees. So when you look at $410,000, that is a savings of time, labor, and money. will be FCA compliant. Now, the Financial Conduct Authority in London looks at your breaches every year. It's no secret that we too make mistakes. 22% of those are not our fault. They are the bank's fault. Whether the bank system shut down, something happened, it is the bank's fault. But 78% of those are our fault. So what does that say about us? It says that we're paying a lot of fines for our own mistakes. How much are we paying for the fines? £180 per breach in 2014. We had almost $13,000 in bank fees. That's crazy. $13,000 on top of the $400,000 that we could be saving. Goldman Sachs has our solution. Goldman Sachs offers a third-party platform to combine all of our investment accounts into one place. Logging into one platform, importing the trades to do auto debit, so no longer paying those $20 wire fees, and saving us time and money. We can free up over 60 minutes a day to invest in other projects. We save over $400,000 on bank fees and labor. And of course, we have a standardized central reporting tool. The reporting tool is very key, especially to our Sarbanes-Oxley group, who does our annual reporting and looks at all of our trades. To have a standardized report is much easier for the corporate office than to have 16 individual reports. If Goldman will work for us, we can make this happen. Goldman will do this project for us in under 3 months. And we can do this project in under 3 months. We can save time, money, and labor costs and have everything consolidated into one place. I have spoken with Goldman, and I think that they are the best opportunity for us after looking at other alternative platforms and third-party providers. Goldman offers everything that we need, and we can do it in a timely manner. I'll now open it up to questions. Yeah.
What's your implementation plan? So how are we going to get this done?
Good question. So my contract actually ends at the end of next month, but I am willing to renew my contract as I'm the most seasoned analyst and get this project done over the summer so that we're looking at under a 90-day implementation plan over the summer when we actually get this rolling. So this is pretty detailed, but I just want to focus on 3 main boxes in blue. And number 1 is to sign the agreement next month with Goldman. So this would essentially give them access to all of our reports and our accounts so that they can start setting that up. And then we also need to sign auto debit contracts with all of our local banks. This could take a little bit longer because we work with banks in Japan, Australia, UK, Canada, US, etc. So more of a global scale. And then lastly, to complete the test trade. So we're looking at under 90 days, but that's if you would extend my contract to stay on so that I could facilitate the project management piece.
On your one slide, it had both pounds and then dollars in the same box.
Mm-hmm.
Was that back a little more? Issue in the bottom, right there.
No, that was
In the
there.
bottom right hand corner, you had 180 pounds
Yeah.
per breach, and then 72 breaches, and then into dollars. Is
Oh,
that supposed
yeah.
to be in pounds?
No, this is dollars. I convert like the
Okay.
total bank fees into
Okay.
dollars because the US office actually pays all the fees on it, but the UK bills it in pounds. So I guess I could
No,
probably
that's,
convert the other
no,
one.
that makes sense, thank you.
Go ahead.
Can you go over in detail about the cost of these projects?
Yeah, so right now with our agreement with all the individual platforms, we get roughly, I would say, 3% on our money market accounts. If this were to happen and take place, we'd be looking at about a 0.5% less to pay to the third party. So based on the volume, we would be dealing with anywhere from $8 per account to $100 per account. So it's really, when you look at the fines you're saving and you look at what you'd be paying between $8 and $100, it's a no-brainer. And there's no upfront capital on our end. It's just a fee that comes out of our monthly statement. Wonderful.